schedule for today is we have a couple videos that were actually produced by Tableau that are going to talk about the new features in 2021.1 and what Einstein is all about. Einstein has caused a lot of confusion in the Tableau community, especially because it's a Salesforce offering, and Tableau can be embedded in Salesforce, can be standalone, have it on your own server. So there was a lot of confusion about the different tools that comprise the entire Einstein offering. So there'll be a little more explanation in that, and hopefully it'll clear up some questions and not cause more, but every now and again, we go through another round of, now, wait a minute, I thought it was this. So if you're a little bit confused learning about Einstein, all of us are a little bit confused about it, but it is an excellent tool. And I encourage you, if you do have Salesforce in-house, to leverage that. If you have your Tableau embedded in your Salesforce, if you're using the Tableau CRM, I believe it's called, because it looks like it can be really powerful for you. But there are also extensions and some other things that we can use outside of that. So coming soon to your Tableau desktop or your server. But I'll go ahead and we'll kick off the first What's New video. It's with John Denby, and he recorded out of his home office in Texas. So I will go ahead and get that queued up for us. And if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the question thing. And if Kirk and I cannot answer them or don't have an answer, I can reach out to the Tableau product team or the dev team and get an answer for you. So, and look for that to be posted throughout our usual communication channels, but I will try to find answers for you because there's a lot of new things in this version.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Denby. I'm a Principal Solution Engineer here at Tableau and Salesforce, coming to you from my hometown, Fort Worth, Texas. I'm thrilled to spend the next few minutes with you looking at metrics, license improvements. So I would encourage you, if you don't already, go to tableau.com and What's New, search for What's New and bookmark that page, because that's where you can get additional information on any topic that I don't cover in this video. Now, let's get started with AI-powered analytics. And I am super excited about this new predictive functionality that we're bringing to the Tableau platform through Einstein Discovery. This tight integration with Einstein Discovery is going to deliver powerful predictive insights directly to where people see and understand their data. And we've done this integration in 3 different ways. The first is a dashboard extension, which I'll go into a little bit more detail with. The second is our new analytics extension service, which is basically going to be a table calculation. The third, and this is going to come sometime in the April timeframe in Tableau Prep, is bulk scoring through Tableau Prep so that you can bring those predictions directly into your data sets in Tableau Prep. So what is Einstein Discovery? Well, Einstein Discovery is this rich, built on Salesforce, predictive analytics engine that doesn't require any coding, any knowledge of coding. It is all wizard-based, point and click. And what Einstein will do is we'll take your data, analyze it, build a predictive model on, and then also give you reasons, leading causes, and things on how you can improve that score with that particular model. So the first place we've surfaced this is in a dashboard extension. Now this is going to be available on Tableau Server, Tableau Online, and Tableau Desktop, and it does require 21.1. Now, because this is new capability with Einstein Discovery and integrated into Einstein Discovery, it does require an Einstein Discovery license. So this is a great opportunity for us to have a conversation with you, with your account team, to help demo, show, and help you understand the power of Einstein Discovery. But simply put, you're just going to bring this dashboard extension in, and it's going to, in real time, score against your predictive model and give those insights back to you. Now, the second way we've surfaced this integration is through the new analytics service. And in this case, it's the Einstein Discovery Analytics service. Now, simply put, what happens is as soon as you build that Einstein Discovery model and deploy it in Einstein Discovery, you're going to have the ability to actually grab a Tableau table calculation. We've pre-written the syntax for you. You copy it, you bring it into Tableau. That's where all the magic happens. You can bring in parameters, you can bring in data fields. And what will happen is in real time, we will produce that predictive score right there in the flow of in analytics. Now, again, this does require 21.1, and it does require an Einstein Discovery license. But unlike the dashboard extension, this is only available for Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server. It will be coming to Tableau Online, but that won't be happening until 21.2. Now let's shift gears a little bit and go to Tableau Prep. Now we're delivering on something that our users have asked for ever since Prep came out, which is the ability to output directly to Microsoft Excel. So no longer will you have to take those CSV files and manually convert them to Excel. They will be right there ready to go in the Excel format. In addition to that, we've added incremental refreshes to the Salesforce data connector in Tableau Prep. This is huge because as our customers analyze more and more Salesforce data, the ability to link on and incrementally trigger on a field like last modified by will limit or at least reduce the amount of data that comes in during an output refresh. Now, moving on, connecting to data, we constantly, with every release, add to this list as we get closer to parity, and we've added 4 additional resources for Tableau Online and Tableau Server that you can now connect to from the server or from online via web. We will continue to do and add additional resources every release, but we're really excited about these particular 4 because we're thinking they're going to have a big impact for our customers. Now, another key investment that we've made is on the Azure platform. As more and more customers move to Azure and use Azure AD, the ability and the necessity to be able to use Azure AD to connect through our connectors for Azure SQL Database, Azure Data Lake Gen 2, Synapse, and Databricks is critical. And so with this release, we give you that new capability with Azure AD as that authorization capability to these connectors. Now, let's talk to the one that the community is going to go crazy about, and that is quick LODs. We all have to talk about LODs. LODs are probably the most powerful calculation you can do in Tableau. And if you don't know what an LOD is, I tell you to go Google it, but it's a level of detail calculation. Well, now what will happen is instead of you having to kind of figure out if you've got your curly brackets in the right place and everything like that, if you use your command or control key and select a dimension and then select a measure and then right click on that, you'll actually be able to see here you can create an LOD calculation. We get you started. You can add additional dimensions or you can modify that or you can just take it as is. So it's a great new feature. It'll get you out of the box with LOD calculations very fast, and you can get started looking at that from a LOD perspective. Now, this next one is actually my favorite, and I actually didn't know until I was prepping for this video that this is a feature in Desktop, that you can actually drag and drop columns and axes in Tableau Desktop into different locations. Well, Now we've brought that functionality to the web. So now on Tableau Online and Tableau Server, your users are going to be able to, just like in this video, bring January, put it right next to June, and look at those numbers side by side. There's great features around this in terms of filtering and capabilities like that, but this is just a great little bitty feature that will really delight a lot of your users as they use more and more of Tableau to see and understand their data. Now, I mentioned the Einstein Discovery dashboard extension, but we wanted it to have a great place to land. And so that means that we've now come and re-envisioned the experience for extensions in Tableau Desktop. No longer are you going to have to go out to our extension gallery and download something or search for something. We now give you that experience in the product. So when you actually click on the extension button, you'll actually see the in-tool extensions. You'll see all of those that are available to you. You can quickly download or use any of these extensions. We expect this list to continue to grow, and you'll actually be able to see your extensions in this list as well. So it's a great new way to interact and bring extensions more to the forefront of your dashboard building experience. Now on the Ask Data front, there were two really key enhancements that we looked at. One is that as people get up and running with Ask Data, they could use just a little help. And so what we've got now is a pop-up guide for those data sets and those people getting started with Ask Data so that they can see the setup guide, they can look at their usage analytics, they can actually get additional help and even give us some feedback about Ask Data. In addition to that, we heard you. We heard you really loud and clear that you wanted more control over which fields in Ask Data are indexed and which ones are not. And so now through the UI, you can actually go in and deselect the fields that you think don't need to be included in your Ask Data indexing to speed up the performance and to give end users that better user experience. Now, if you're like me, you get notifications all over the place. You get them on your phone, you get them on your computer, you get them in email. And over time, our notification approach has been somewhat fragmented. Well, not anymore. We've actually spent a lot of R&D time and development time developing a brand new unified notifications platform. You'll get the same notification experience, be it in the notification center, action menu, and then better yet, if you have permissions to do it, you can actually opt in and opt out of notifications both in Tableau and via email. We will continue to invest in this area, but this is a much needed refresh when it comes to our notification engine. Now, the next two are really about licensing and how licensing has changed in the world of cloud and virtual machines. We've actually introduced a new concept here, which is called Authorized to Run, or ATR. With that, you now have a new service in TSM called the Activation Service. If your Tableau server is internet accessible and can connect to the internet, now you can use the ATR capability when you license your server. And as these non-persistent changes happen in cloud architectures and in VMs, you will continue to be licensed. You won't have to unlicense and license and restart your server from that perspective. We will take care of all of that with this new ATR capability. Well, we didn't stop there. We actually heard you too about downtime licensing, especially when it comes to user licensing and capacity and features and such. So as most of our customers have moved to subscription, the need to be able to apply additional licenses as you grow, as you have new terms, as you have new features that you've acquired is critical. And so now what you'll be able to do with the UI is apply those licenses. You'll see those licenses applied right away. There may be a slight delay in terms of those being activated on your server, but within an hour they'll become activated and you won't actually have to restart TSM to get those new licenses on board. Now, finally, we have metrics. Metrics is a great feature that we added several releases ago, primarily geared for the mobile experience, but metrics has a great place on Tableau Server and Tableau Online where you can actually monitor and see in real time changes to dashboards that you create a metric for. Well, one of the challenges with metrics was that when you went to go create a metric, what other metrics were on that dashboard? Well, not anymore. When you actually click the metrics button, we'll show you all of the appropriate metrics that are on that dashboard. Maybe you want to reuse one of those or tweak one of those. If not, you'll see the create button at the very top and you can create a new metric to be attached to that dashboard. So that was just a quick run through of some of the new enhancements, innovation, features that you're going to find in 2021.1. I said it again. And I hope that you're as excited as I am about what 2021 looks like for Tableau. We are just getting started. This is just the first release. We still have other releases this year, and we're going to be delivering more and more great new innovation and functionality for you. So I want to say from Tableau, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being a customer. Thank you for making Tableau center to your data analytics journey. If you have any additional questions, there are resources that are always static and available. These are persistent links. There's always our new features page that you can bookmark. There's the release notes for any new release that we have. And as we get ready to release our next release, which would be 21.2, you'll see that we'll begin to populate our coming soon page with those new features so you can get excited about that. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Happy trails until we see each other again. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a great 2021.1 product launch.
Welcome. I'm excited to bring to you an in-depth look at Einstein Discovery in Tableau. But first, what is Einstein Discovery? Einstein Discovery automatically examines millions of data points to uncover unbiased insights, generate predictions, and provide recommendations for the user. We are going to work through the steps to add Einstein Discovery predictions into your own Tableau dashboards, bringing trusted predictions and recommendations from Einstein Discovery to every Tableau user across your org. We will be using a modified Superstore workbook. You can follow along with Einstein Discovery in your own Salesforce org and the resources attached below the video. Let's set the stage. Our global chain, Superstore, has a Northern European region that has this dashboard they're regularly using to analyze historical shipments. As part of a company-wide data culture initiative, the data and analytics team is very interested in adding predictive capabilities to be more proactive about potential shipment delays. So how exactly are they going to add a powerful new capability into their dashboards? As you can see, this current dashboard is based on historical shipments, and that's what we're going to use to base a model on, but we do want to predict the likelihood of new shipments to be delivered on time, which will require a new data set and new dashboard. Having assigned creation of that new dashboard over to the data visualization team, we can now focus on building a predictive model. First things first, we do need data to build the model on, and for this example, we'll use a CSV export of historical shipments, similar to what you saw in the dashboard. In just a few short steps, we can upload the data to Tableau CRM Analytics Studio so that it's ready to use. Make sure when you're doing this on your own, you're only including the relevant data for the prediction, in this case, history of shipped orders. Once your CSV upload completes, we're going to need to create a story. Here, we're going to go ahead and set up as maximize delivered on time for on time, which will predict the likelihood of being on time so that once we connect all the pieces together, a high percentage is exactly what we're looking for to know that our customers will be happy. Next, select Insights and Predictions as your model type. We're going to use Automated to get started, but you can always go back and adjust manually later if needed. Click Create Story and go get a cup of coffee. This might take a few minutes to complete depending on your underlying data. We're going to check the accuracy score and then go ahead and deploy our model. Remember, you can't connect to Tableau until you deploy your model, so don't forget this step. Start by giving it a name, and you're going to need this when you pull it up in Tableau. Select Deploy without connecting to an object, because we're going to be connecting outside of Salesforce. Choose No Segmentation for this example. Select Transporter Service Level and Transport Supplier as our actionable variables, and then Review and Deploy. So let's open up the dashboard the visualization team created for us. Yes, again, cooking show magic. We can see that there is ample space that they have set aside so that we can place our predictions. This will be used to house the Einstein Discovery in Tableau extension. Before we can put that extension in, we need to do one last piece of prep. We need to have a sheet that has each field that's being used in the model on detail, like this. Since this sheet is being used only to drive the extension, we're going to hide it on our dashboard, but we're going to still have filter actions that affect it so that it updates the extension properly. Drag that extension object out onto your dashboard. And as you can see, not only are we adding Einstein capabilities into Tableau, but we have adjusted how the extension gallery looks. You now see it in Tableau Desktop. This is going to make it even easier to extend your dashboards. Let's go ahead and choose the Einstein option, and Tableau is going to open a browser to authenticate. Go ahead and click Allow. Now that we're going to configure our Einstein Discovery extension, we need to select the prediction model that we just created. We're going to go ahead and keep this as worksheet. And yes, you can tie it into parameters and not have to do a sheet. We're going to select that sheet we made to help drive this prediction screen and then hit Proceed. As long as all your fields are named the same as they were in your data load into the Analytics Studio, and they're all the same type, you're not going to have to do much here other than review and hit Next. We're going to give our prediction a name, and this is going to show up on the extension, so make it clear for your audience. I like to put % in the units since that is the desired output of my predictive model. And below, we're going to go ahead and increase the number of items that are going to show in the extension because I've got plenty of room, and the more information I can provide my end users, the better. We're also going to hide warnings for this instance. Hit Done, and there you have it. We already have some actions set up on this dashboard, and you can see that as we interact with our data, our predictions are updated in real time using that prediction model to rescore our outcome. Depending on the components being shipped, location, weather, business type, the prediction of likely to be delivered on time will be updated. We can see that these top predictors are leading causes, and suggestions for improvements are also getting updated to provide valuable insights to our end user. So now that we have an interactive predictive dashboard ready to share out, we can go ahead and publish this to Tableau Online or Tableau Server so that the business can see and take action on their data. This extension option is great. It has everything you need in one place, and it's very easy to set up. For those looking for an option that is a bit more visual and flexible, we have an option to add your prediction as a Tableau table calculation. In just a few short steps, we can create the calculation and use it for a visual, interactive, real-time predictive output. To get started, let's jump back over to Salesforce and take a look at the Model Manager. As reviewing that model we created, we're going to go and look at the settings, and there's a drop-down menu off to the right that has a quick Create Tableau Table Calculation. Simple as copy it to the clipboard and jump right back over to your workbook. We're going to create a new sheet and a new calculated field. Let's go ahead and paste that calculation in. And now we have a new calculation that we can use just as we would any other measure on our visuals. We can add it to our dashboard for a visual interactive prediction. Let's make a quick viz and see it in action. We're going to put that calculation over on columns, drag weather over to rows, and let's go ahead and add a color gradient. You have formatting options galore. Add it to your dashboard and share using Tableau Server. This table calculation on Tableau Online, as well as even more functionality, including bulk scoring in Tableau Prep, are all features that will be coming out very soon. Thank you for being here today, and check out the related links for more information on Tableau 2021.1 release and Einstein Discovery in Tableau.
Okay. Well, Kirk, you were sitting on the question box for me. Do we have any questions? All right. There are a lot of new things coming out, and there's a lot of things in the pipeline that are probably on their coming soon page. Some of the things that have been rolled out, like authoring in Tableau Public, which you'll see, I'll be able to show you a little bit of that during my demo. It's really, really cool and seamless, and I can't believe how easy it is. It's almost like you're on your online server, but it's in Tableau Public. So once you publish a dashboard using Tableau Public, you can change it, make changes just on the fly while you're up there. Or you can use one of the data sets they have available and just build a brand new dashboard. It's really, really cool. Einstein, I think, is going to bring a lot of power to prediction and to our analytics moving forward. It'll be interesting to see how it is rolled out to all of us who are not in a Salesforce environment, because one of the things that I've heard other users talk about with Salesforce is that it might get expensive, be adding on all these extra licenses we might need just to use Einstein. So there's a lot of confusion as to what's available to us without that extra add-on license and what is not available to us. So again, if you have Salesforce, reach out to your people there and ask them about it. And hopefully we'll have a little more clarification coming soon. I'm going to jump into my demo for you. I have to get a few things set up behind the scenes, sorry. So I'm going to jump into this. This is something that I had a problem with. Sometimes we get data sets that are more like flat files, and they're aggregated to a month or to a year. And so you have a line for each location or each customer that's aggregated to a certain point in time, which works fine, except Tableau loves to aggregate everything. You give it a number, it's going to want to sum it, it's going to want to make an average. It's not happy having a number that's just not a number that can be aggregated. So the workaround is to change your numbers to attributions when you add them to your dashboard, but it takes away the functionality of the sort. You can no longer sort your columns. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So here's your typical, dashboard that, I have my columns here. These are numbers, but they're summarized to each one of these locations. But I can come down here and I can click on this and I can sort it however I want. No problem. It works just fine. But when you make those numbers, when you change them to attributes, and I'm actually going to see if I can edit this so you can see the back end of it. Okay, pretty cool, huh? I can edit this now right here and you can see what I'm doing. So as numbers, into our parameter, and I can go to this sheet. These are all changed to attributes. And how you do that is when you pull it in, it'll automatically go to sum. So your measure, instead of sum, you just switch to attribute. It still stays a number. It still stays in your dimensions. It doesn't, or stays in your measures. It doesn't pop into the dimensions. But the problem is, oh, I can't sort these anymore. What's going on here? So I needed to come up with a solution for that. And the solution was, I remembered a blog post I had seen a long time ago by Avalytics on how to use parameters for custom sorting. So there's, you need to make two parameters and two parameters and one calculation in order to make this work. So you have one parameter that's called sort order. And it's a string and it has two values. The ASC and DESC need to be just like that under value because you're going to do a rank function, and rank requires that you have a sorting ascending or descending. And these are the two values that the calculation requires. But in your display drop down, you can have it whatever you want. And so I went creatively with ascending and descending. And then our other parameter are the columns that we want to sort. So on your value column, this will be the actual name of the dimension that you're wanting to sort by dimension, or if you want to use it with a measure, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. If you want to use it with a dimension, you can, but I'm using it with measures. And for some reason, I'm getting those mixed up today. Holy cow, sorry about that. But the name for the value has to match the name under here. You can't use an alias or it's not going to work. But you can have it display as whatever you want it to display at. So if you want it to match, say you have an alias on your table and you want it to match that, perfect. Change it under display as, that's how it will appear in your dropdown. Okay. Then we'll go back to this one right here, the column sort utility. You can call it whatever you want. For some reason, I can remember it as column sort utility. That might be what they used in the blog. But this is where you build your case statement. And for some reason, I can't make it bigger. Sorry, let me see. Okay, so basically your case is based on the column sort, which is where you have defined all the columns you want to sort. So, and these are your names of your columns here. And what you're doing is rank and then your attribution position. Now notice I have them attribution up here, but we're calling our metric from over here. So over here, it's not been made to an attribution or a sum or anything else yet. So you do have to put the attribution in there, and then the sort order is the ascending or descending. And you just do that for each column that you have defined in your column sort. And then voila, once you get all that done, oh, I'm sorry, I needed to point out one more thing that's very important. If you ever do this and it doesn't work, this needs to be, you need to change it to discrete. It cannot be continuous, and you need to have it be, see it's blue and it's not green. So you need to make sure you change it so it's a blue pill and not a green pill. And it needs to be the very first thing that you see on your rows column. And I actually have it hidden here. If you want to leave it there, you can, but you can hide it, and that way it just kind of works in the background and nobody really knows it's there. It's kind of the magic that you can create with Tableau. And then you throw it on your dashboard, and here are my two parameters. Now I want to sort by total sales, and there you go. You can't see my column header. There it is, total sales. I made it smaller here on my screen so I can't really see. So you can sort by total sales. You can sort by descending. So it gives you a lot of flexibility when you have those data files that just are not, that have been already summarized. Because what I've found is when you have those data files that are already summarized, especially when you have month over month data and it's summarized to the month, sometimes the summations or the averages are slightly off. They're not quite right. And I've never been able to figure out why that's happening, but the solution is to change it to the attribution and add your column sort here. All righty. With that, I'm going to jump into some of our announcements with upcoming events. There's a lot of upcoming TUG events. And this dashboard is our user group. Tableau Public for the DSM TUG. So our upcoming events that we have, Data and Analytics will be meeting on April 19th, their next meetup. The Analytics TUG, if you haven't signed up for the Analytics TUG and you're into analytics, they are actually, I will show you their page. It's a special user group. You will see people there from around the globe. They do have them different times of day for every meeting to kind of accommodate for presenters and for people who want to join from other parts of the world. But it's been, it's a really fun group. You really get down to the nitty gritty of the analytics and different ways to use analytics as you tell your data story, and as well as seeing analytics used in different industries, which is really important because we have a lot of different industries, I know, in our group, and a lot of the groups, but this one focuses specifically on using analytics in Tableau. So it's a great group to get into, and you just go to usergroups.tableau.com/analytics, and that is on the dashboard as well. Second here. The Tableau Live Americas, it's just a one-day kind of mini conference. It's happening on the May 18th. Data Dev Day, so if you have, if you want to make your own extensions instead of going through the gallery to see what's available, you can build your own extensions. I've built one, it's not in production, but I've dabbled in it a little bit, it's kind of fun. And the data dev community is just like the rest of the Tableau community. They are an awesome group to be associated with. They want to teach you how to do what they do. And it's a lot of fun as well because you get to see what's coming up a little earlier. But Data Dev Day is May 20th. They also have a hackathon, which was this morning, unfortunately. I didn't get that out to everybody soon enough in case you wanted to be involved in that. But Data Dev Day, if you have time, feel free to jump into that. You will learn a lot if you ever wanted to see the back end of how Tableau works and how they come up with new ideas and the data connections and everything else. Jump in there. It's a lot. It's just amazing what they do. And then on May 20th as well, the same day as Data Dev Day, there's the Super Tug. And Francois is going to join the Atlanta Tug. They won. There was a little competition between the tugs at the end of the year, and they won the grand prize of having Francois kind of do a Q&A or presentation with them. So Atlanta decided to open it up to the rest of us, and I jumped on it right away. So we can get in there, we can get our questions into Atlanta so they have them ready. I believe I posted that in a few places, but I can post it again after this meeting. So we have the link for the questions if it's still up. I will check with that. But another great event coming up over in Atlanta. Some resources just for what I showed today and some things to be aware of. The Evolytics blog is the one that I used for the sorting with parameters. Of course, if you get on Twitter or LinkedIn and you're talking about our tug, Or if you're interacting with the data fam, I'm sure you've seen this hashtag floating around. It is a big family, and that hashtag is everywhere when you get out there and look for it. But feel free to use it if you're posting to the community, and it'll also help you connect if you have a problem and you're stuck in Tableau and you go to Twitter and say, oh man, I'm just really stuck, I don't know what to do. Put that data fam hashtag on it and help will come from everywhere. It's the data fam will find you and help you with whatever you need help with. It's kind of a fun hashtag to follow too. There's some interesting conversations that pop up in the data fam. Some other things, the Tableau community forums. If you're not registered, get out there. It's a great way to get questions answered, learn new things, connect with user groups like the analytics user group that they have. All sorts of information all the time, and it's just gone through a major refresh. So it looks completely different than it did a couple months ago. And even last night when I got in there, they had made even a few more changes to it. And I was like, holy cow, they're changing it every day I come in here. But it's a little easier to use now, a little more intuitive, and they just keep making it better every time. Of course, the Tableau user groups, if you're looking for another one. And then the DSM Tug, we're on Twitter. If you happen to be a Twitter user, go ahead and follow us. I do post our meetings or announcements and just sometimes news bites and different things like that that come up in the Tableau world, just to kind of keep us all informed and all on the same page. This deck is already published in our Tableau public spot, but I will put the link out through LinkedIn as well as Twitter. I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. Hey, it's me and Kirk again. Does anybody have any questions?
I haven't seen any questions pop up. If anybody has any, please jump on there and ask away.
And if anybody ever has a question in between times, I apologize. I've not been good at watching for questions within our user group. I will get better at that. I went through a job change right at the end of the year and got buried very quickly. So I'm doing a better job of keeping track of that and letting people into our LinkedIn group. So there's that. And also we do have an email through Gmail. It's dsmtug@gmail.com, or is it dsm.tug@gmail.com? I'm questioning what I've done, but we do have a direct email, so you can also utilize that if you can't get a hold of us any other way, or within the Tableau community forum in our user group. I get tagged every time something gets put in there. So there's many ways you can reach out to me or to Kirk if you need help, or reach out to the larger community. That's what we're here for. If anybody'd like to present next time, it'll probably be midsummer. And then fall, I'm actually looking at November. So try to squeeze it in, but I'm trying to hedge my bets and see when the Tableau conference is going to be, so we're not right on top of each other. I don't see anything else popping up. If there's anything else, you guys get 5 minutes left in your lunch hour today. Get 5 minutes back. Thank you for joining us today. If you do want to present, reach out. If not, I might reach out to you and ask you to present. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. But anyway, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Okay, we'll talk to everyone later. Everybody have a great rest of the week and happy visiting.